So far, I have shown that pentagonal geometry does manifest itself in the relationship of the three mountain castles which figure so prominently in this story. It's time to look at them again, to see if there is anything more to be learned beyond the fact that the triangle formed by these three castles has pentagonal angles. And this is where the story takes another unexpected shift. The accuracy of those angles is already sufficiently astonishing. But from here, it's possible to see that midway between Bézieux and Blanchefort, and blending against the backdrop of mountains, there is another hill feature.
It is exactly equidistant from Blanchefort and Bézieux, and the angle formed by the hilltops is exactly 108 degrees, the external angle of a pentagon.
We started from a triangle whose apex was Bézieux, and now we have four mountain peaks placed in precise geometric regularity. The odds against such a natural occurrence must be astronomical. But of course we can't leave it there. What about the fifth point of the pentagon? Well, there it is. The rocky ridge which blends against the mountainside behind. This time, nature lets us down by a few score meters. Were this structure man-made, it would be possible to forgive so small a margin of error.
And even now, 5 years after I first found it, I still find it astonishing. There's no doubting this immense geometric figure when one can see it laid out. But in the landscape, the mountains blend with their neighbours, and their regularity is hidden. This story began with the hunt for Béranger Saunier's treasure, and has led to this amazing geometric figure. Yet the story had always implied that there was more here than mere buried treasure. The pentagram has already appeared elsewhere, hidden in this parchment. But this pentagram, unlike the mountains, was an irregular one. It broke through its surrounding circle. What could this imply? It broke through its surrounding circle. What could this imply? In fact, what is the significance of the pentacle?
The magician uses a pentacle enclosed within a circle for conjuration. The surrounding circle is his protection. To break it is to allow the evil to enter.
Is this what is being implied? I think not. Certainly it's a possibility, but the pentacle is not only a symbol of black magic, of evil. The shape seemed to be assuming an unexpected significance in my research into the history of the Priory of Zion. It kept nagging at me, and when I talked to Monsieur Plantard, I asked him about the geometry I had found and what significance he saw in the stressing of the pentacle. The geometry is pentagonal, isn't it?
Je ne peux pas vous répondre à ce sujet.
Saunier, I know, had left us cryptic images of one such body of hidden knowledge. The symbols of air, fire, water, earth. The four elements of alchemy. Alchemy, for most people today, no more than a half-forgotten medieval quest for a way to change base metal into pure gold. But the true alchemist's search was much more than that. A key phrase in their writings is, as above, so below, reflecting their continual search for an earthly counterpart to the immensity of God's cosmos, their desire to transmute base man into pure spirit. The alchemical quest seems to have held much fascination for many of the Grand Masters of the Priory of Zion, and the Templars seem to have absorbed it along with the other Eastern philosophies and sciences with which they came into contact. As above, so below. And in the thinking of those who created this mystery, there was some connection between the pentacle at Rennes-le-Château, Mary Magdalene, and Venus. But how did the medieval mind view the universe?
In it. Now, if you take a model, a wireframe model of a pentatope, you assign the axis so that the tip here is at the top, and then you begin to tilt it in our magical 32-degree tilt, and if you shined a light through it with the first 32-degree tilt, you would see the top shadow. And then as you continue moving it around the shadows, then the shadow formed from all 5 of those tilts is a pentagram pentagon. Now this is the key to all magic. We need a higher energetic juice to make things happen down here in 3D. If I'm trying to invoke energy into my material to make it come alive so we can transform it, then we draw a pentagram, and we use, as we draw the pentagram, the exact symmetry angles that we see on the top, which, as you can see, corresponds to the interior lines of the pentagram. When we use the top symmetry pattern, that's invoking, bringing the energy down into it's bringing the energy down into 3 dimensions. If we want to banish that energy, make it go away, dissipate, turn it off, then we use the symmetry order seen below. And that's the banishing order of a pentagram. Remember, hex fixes, pent sins. And I'm sure Dan has some images of the fractal cascade. He showed us some this morning. So what you're doing when you draw an invoking pentagram is you're setting up, you're going to love this, a heterodyne cascade pattern from higher to lower. Now you notice there's a hex in the center. Okay. We think of reality as being solid and real, hex. And the pent is something extra spiritual, really doesn't touch us. But as Dan has been talking about, there would be no there. There would be no life in the hexagram without this cascade of energy from a higher dimension into our dimension.
I hesitate to ask the question only because it's a diversion in a way, but it's tied in. You could say, no, I don't want to go there. But, of course, you can't help as an American looking at that pentagram and thinking of Washington. You don't want to go down that road. Pentagon.
We've actually done lots of magic with the Pentagon, unbeknownst to the government. Yeah. And it works the same.
Is there a reason they made it that way?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
The founding fathers.
They didn't. Founding fathers didn't make it. Here's the fractal. Oh, that's my finger. Look at that. That's me pointing to it.
Vincent showing me this 25 years ago.
This is the Pentagon, and what we did was we stellated it and found these points, and we banished the military-industrial complex in 1992, and we had 8 years of peace and prosperity. And right about where my finger is pointing is where the plane hit the Pentagon. And they broke open the Pentagon, and all hell broke loose.
Its own irregular pattern.
Now, this tree of life pattern is not just...
Only one planet forms a precise and regular geometric pattern in the sky, and that planet is Venus, the heavenly representation of the earthly Mary Magdalene. And the pattern she draws, as regularly as clockwork every 8 years, is a pentacle. As above, so below. At Rennes-le-Château, village of Mary Magdalene, we have the perfect pentacle, the earthly counterpart of the perfect pentacle in the heavens, the secret and hidden pattern of Venus, the Magdalene. Each pentacle precise, known, yet hidden. One must be initiated into the mystery before one can see the age-old and unchanging truth that the heavens find reflected in that tiny location on the face of the earth. Here was the link between the worlds of matter and spirit, between base and corrupt man here on earth and the twinkling firmament where dwelt God and all his saints. Mary Magdalene, the medium of a secret revelation, was herself the image of the secret revelation in the sky. To the medieval mind, to the alchemist, to the Templar, to the Priory of Zion, such an image was immensely powerful, immensely potent. In that majestic symbol in the sky, harmonious, unchanging, regular as a metronome, was the music of the spheres. The real treasure of Rennes-le-Château is not one of gold and jewels. The real treasure is a secret, the pentacle. A secret which held immense potency in the past, and which for some people still holds that potency today. Shape, I am told, has a property. In other words, certain shapes do certain things. Can a pentacle really do something